Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the stream. We got Vanillix and Gym Leader Zero here. How you guys doing today? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. J-Teen, welcome, welcome. How's everyone's weekend? Good to be back. Good to be streaming. Yo, Alan, how you doing, man? You feeling any better, man? Trying to get the last little bit of my hair out of my face. Alright, alright. Just gonna go ahead and jump right into it today. Hopefully today can be the day, guys. Much better than last time. Awesome, dude. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Alright, let's just... Yeah, that should be better. I'm playing that bad Need for Speed game. Which one? Yeah, I was doing pretty well. Your weekend was pretty chill. That's good to hear, Vanillix. Mine was pretty good. Mel came to town and we hung out. Didn't go out and do a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to go out and do at the moment. Yeah. Current events are still current events. The 2015 one. Was that Carbon? Was that the one we were talking about? Sorry if you guys hear, like, ridiculous bass from the distance. The neighbor that I've mentioned is playing music loud enough that I'm feeling, like, my floor shake. Just wonderful. Like, I play music all day, but, like, come on, man. Like, headphones are, like, reasonable volume. One of the two. It is appreciated. Live action scenes capped at 30. Is that not the one we decided was Carbon? Weekend was pretty good. You got Shiny Entei. Can you guys... You guys can hear me, right? Yeah. I don't know what YouTube's on about, but it's saying my audio stream's current bitrate. The audio from my current stream's bitrate is 0, so... Or most wanted. Ooh, maybe that was it. Your weekend was pretty good. I got a Shiny Entei, so that completes your Johto Legendary Beast Trio, and you got Shiny Elekid completing Poco. Yo, nice, dude. Congrats. Oh, it was just called Need for Speed. Oh, there was one of those, wasn't there? I was thinking that's such a terrible, like, naming thing to do. Like, what drives a company to do that? Like, to name something just like the series name. You know, like, it makes sense when it's game 1 and it's not a series, and then you name something 2. Or, like, but, like, if it's like, oh, we haven't used it yet, like, if you've always called it Need for Speed, some subtitle or some number, like, that just makes the decision to go back and use just Need for Speed dumber. Modern Warfare. Honestly, the Modern Warfare series is another. The fact that we have to call it Modern Warfare 2019 solely because there's, like, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. Then there was the Modern Warfare remake or remaster or whatever it was. Like, you have all of these. The Modern Warfare remaster came out recently. Like, it's just... all it does is confuse people. Bad naming is such, like, you're paying people to market and make these things, and, like, they choose the most generic name. I don't get why it happens. Looking at Xbox as well, like the new Xbox, the fact that it's technically just Xbox, and it's the Series X of the Xbox is like, all right, but now you've got all these people looking for the Xbox X, the Series X, and they're gonna see the One X, and it's like there's just the worst naming conventions. Sony's got it right with the PlayStation. Just name it PlayStation. PlayStation, the iteration number. Not that hard. So yeah, when a game just is like, I'm just gonna be Need for Speed, it's like either you have to either end the franchise there, be rebooting it entirely. Doom did okay. Doom 2016, which is also called Doom 2016 by everyone, because there's a game called Doom that already exists. But yeah. Like, the game has to be good for it to be okay. Yo, Mel, what's going on? Yo, Alpha Wolf, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we can hear you. Good, good. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube like randomly complains about stuff like that sometimes. Need for Speed Heat is the best. That's the new one, right? That's the one. I own that one. I have to ask. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the little bit I've played. I need to play more. It's basically Underground 3. They wanted to reboot the series. Yeah. But like, it's not like it took a break. It's not like this is like, oh, it's Need for Speed. It's like in 2015 especially. Like there were multiple Need for Speed games around 2015. Like mid 2010s, there were Need for Speed games that were relatively new. You can't, like, I guess they were trying to go after it with like the movie and everything, but like Doom 2016, I don't think anyone really, crapped on it for being called Doom, because who's gonna get that confused with any of the previous Doom games? Like, multiple console generations have happened. Almost a decade, I think. Like, I don't know when Doom 3 came out, but like, it had been long enough. They could call a game Doom, and people would lose their mind over it and would understand what it is. Have you ever heard about Curry shiny hunting and Sword and Shield? I have not. What is that? Same thing with Hitman. There's 2 Hitman 2s. Really? What the heck? Why? Sucks anyway. It looks pretty good. It caps at 30. I think that might be the one that Total Biscuit tore apart. He, like, let's be honest, it's really easy on PC to mod out an FPS cap. I think it was just an INI file, and you modified it, and the physics were tied to the frame rate. So, like, for one, if you went above 30 FPS, the game got faster, and if you went below 30 FPS, the game got slower. Like, you had to be able to run it pinned at 30, which, I mean, most people complaining about FPS numbers probably can. Like, the fact that it's capped probably can. But, like, there's someone out there who got that game for some, like, laptop with no GPU, and it just wrecked it. What does the shiny look like? The arms are, like, a little bit lighter, and I think the body is, like, pink-ish. Like, it's still pretty red. It doesn't change a whole lot. Like, it's a color shift. Like, everything just kind of shifts to be a bit brighter, as opposed to, like, Regidrago or something that actually has, like, a distinctly different color. So it's a little bit lighter. It's kind of like how Regice is just a different shade of bluish white. A new way to shiny hunt in the routes of the game, but not in the wild area. Interesting. How does it work? It's a pretty game, then you realize it's 30 FPS. Very cinematic. Like Flare and a Regice, exactly like that, exactly. Of course, the big companies rate the new COD game high, but the user score is in the bin. User score is going to be in the bin, no matter what. Like, that's not surprising. For one, I think there's a little bit of bugginess to it. Sorry about this. Hopefully this doesn't keep happening today. It wouldn't be a Switch stream if my cap card didn't clunk out at least once. Fingers crossed. It holds together. But yeah, every Call of Duty game, that user score is going to go in the bin right at the start. For one, I think there were a couple like day one bugs. That happens. Really, like, what was the beta for, though, if there are still bugs? Like, if there's going to be, like, day one bugs that are big enough that people are rating it low because of that. I think a lot of it is people are like, oh, Modern Warfare is better because that's what everyone always does. Again, my opinion, there was a large amount of the community that wanted Cold War postponed so that Modern Warfare 2019 could get, like, another year of being the main game. You have people who, for whatever reason, similar to, like, iPhone, Android debates, believe that, like, a Treyarch and Infinity War game are very different games. But it's just one of those things. People want to be part of the like, counterculture a little bit, and like, I'm gonna hate on the game because it's the new game and the old one was better. They changed things. It's like, in a month or two, those people who, like, the people who rated it the lowest are going to be the people who are playing it the most. That's just how it is. Like, what's that meme of, like, the Steam group from like the Modern Warfare 2 haters or something, and it's a picture of just like 90% of that group actively in a match of Modern Warfare 2. That's what happens. That's what happens. The people who complain the most are the people most likely to buy it at the end of the day. They're the people who care the most about it. Look at Dexit as an example. Like, I was pretty upset about the National Dex not being in the games, but I was upset about it because I care about it. Like, the people who are most vocal about that care the most about that. They're going to be the ones that get the most upset, but it also means like they're the ones most likely to eventually break and cave and play it. Like, it's the game they want to play. So, they want it to be the game. They want it to be exactly what they want it to be. So yeah, you're gonna see that. For one, there is some validity to like the concept that game reviewers, it's the case in any review thing, where it's like the reviewer won't like rail on a new product too hard, because say they genuinely dislike, say in like this case, the journalist or reporter at IGN, this is kind of out there, but like at IGN, bashed it, said it was the worst game ever, don't waste your money on it, you know, don't buy this game, don't do anything like that, it's terrible. And like, people don't buy the game. Activision's not going to want to send them next year's game because they ruined the sales of this one. The reviewer knows that, so a lot of reviewers will potentially rate things a little bit more leniently just because it's the big game and you don't want to not get the next Call of Duty to review. The reviews of these big games are what drive their money. Like, there is that, that's a little bit tinfoil hatty, but at the same time is just a truth of reviews. But at the same time, you gotta look at the user score on the other side of it too, as being the people who are the most passionate about, oh, they removed this feature or something like that, and like, they'll buy it anyways. The people like me that own Modern Warfare and aren't going to buy Cold War aren't out there complaining about it. I just do not care enough about Call of Duty to pay $60 twice in a 1 year period. That's me. But I also don't think it was bad. I don't think there was anything egregious about it. There were things I didn't like, but about the beta. But like, I'm not like upset enough to go and write a scathing review about it on some like critic website. Capture card should be the new top hat. We'll keep count of how many times the capture card craps out during a. That's how we'll count things from now on. It won't be like encounters. It'll just be capture card resets. Make curries with 3 of your Pokemon that are best friends with you. And make like Charizard class curries. Chuck 3 Pokemon into a cauldron and cook them. Some Pokemon might come to try to check out the concern. EA made it on the Frostbite engine that they made in other games. Made the Frostbite like 10 times better. Yeah, I mean, for one, engines can be updated, and for two, just because you use a great engine doesn't mean the game's going to look great. And most engines are flexible enough to make good and bad games. Surprised they made a racing game in the Frostbite engine, though. Like, Frostbite was built for... If I remember correctly, Frostbite was built for Battlefield. Like, DICE made that engine. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, that was, like, the original Frostbite. So, you know, whatever iteration they're on now. I know by, like, Battlefield 3, they were on Frostbite 3. Or maybe it was 4 that they were on Frostbite 3. But, like, engines evolve over time. And, like, the whole point is that they're basically just ways to write your code. They can write a bunch of different things. But I'm surprised Frostbite wasn't, like, specifically an FPS engine. Or maybe it was, and that's why the Need for Speed game was so trash. Yo, Chris, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. You're drawn? Nice, nice. James Work, you're back. All right, welcome back, Alpha Wolf. So what do the what do the curries help with from there? Does it like just increase the number of Pokemon you see, or what's up with that? Yeah, so I guess on the topic of COD, I guess Cold War's out now officially. Was that yesterday? I guess yesterday it came out. I don't know. I didn't follow it too much. This week has had a whole lot of releases, and it almost had like one more. Or last week, I guess, had a whole lot of releases. And this week was gonna have one, and then Cyberpunk got delayed for whatever time it is until December 10th, which, for the people that care about that game, I hope it comes out for them by the end of the year. I didn't actually even know about Cyberpunk until like this year, so I'm not the most devastated. I also don't play a lot of games like that, so I wasn't, anticipating it as much as I think a lot of people were. Rip the people that took the day off, though. Came out 3 days ago. Yeah. Like, I know it was out. I've seen people posting about it on Twitter. I know Adam was posting about it there. And also, like I said, I played the beta. I have some interest in Call of Duty. It's just I don't have enough to, like I said, buy 2 brand new Call of Duty games in a year. It's like I bought Modern Warfare on a whim. I think it might have been on sale even. I don't know if Modern Warfare ever went on sale, but it might have been. And I bought it like February, and I played it a whole bunch with friends, and put it away for a bit. Yeah, basically, I got Damascus in Modern Warfare, and that's about the most I want to play Modern Warfare for the next 2 or 3 years, or Call of Duty in general for the next 2 or 3 years. Every once in a while, I'll hop back in. The Obsidians were just, like, you guys know me, I'm a collector. I like to go out and collect things that are kind of rare, shinies, just national dexes in general. Like, 100%ing stuff's great. If anyone plays Modern Warfare, you know what the Obsidian camos are, and, like, they added them because they didn't realize Damascus would be gotten so quickly. And they're just blatant grind fests, and it's like, alright, well, I objectively have to play X number of matches. Unless, like, I can rail, like, 90 kill shipment rounds all day long. And even then, it's still, like, 30 matches of 90 kill shipment rounds. And, like, that's not happening every day. So, like, nah, there's no way I'm getting all those guns to Obsidian. Some of the mastery challenges were cool, but they came out by, like, after I got to Damascus, or right before I got Damascus, so, like, Damascus was fun because, like, you had to constantly, like, be changing stuff and doing a little bit of differences, but Obsidian was just going to be a bit too much. Like, there's just those things that are intentional grind fests that just pad the use time of the game, like, pad the play time out. Like, their whole point was to get people to keep coming back and playing more rounds. I get it, but, the Infinity Ward, Activision, they saw a drop-off as, late Season 3, early Season 4, people were really starting to get Damascus, and, like, their hardcore players were taking breaks from the game, and there was a massive dip in their in their player base compared to what it had been as far as daily users. So, like, they added Obsidian to be like, hey, the true completionist. And it's like, all right, but, like, the true mastery of this weapon. I'm like, no, that's just grindy, and, like, you couldn't do it until you got gold. So, like, it was all excess on top of Damascus, and I was like, nah, I'm not for that. It's one of those things where maybe I'll go back and do a couple of them, like, if I'm bored and I've finished all the other games I want to play, but so I have other things I can do with my time than just, like, play with one gun over and over and over again in an attempt to get that. It's already a PS5 emulator. How? You've been trolled. Yeah, no, there's not going to be one of those for a bit. I mean, it looks like people have done teardowns on some of the systems, and there might be entry points for them to find exploits, but they gotta pull the ROM off. At this point, though, like, realistically, the biggest thing they have to do is crack the is crack the security on the discs more than anything else. I mean, like, it's being completely realistic, like, the Xbox and the Xbox Series, the new Xboxes and the PS5 are both just PCs that are very tiny and in a case, like in a special case, and play certain games. That's really all they are. The systems are running, I think there's, I know they're Zen based, right? I think there's Zen 2. There's Zen 2 architecture for the CPU and RDNA 2 for the GPUs, which means they're just PCs. Like, my system has a Zen 2 CPU in it. As soon as AMD actually puts out the 6000 series cards on the market, you'll be able to put RDNA 2 in a PC. Like, the architecture for both of the chips on that SoC actively exist. I guess chipset, motherboard-wise, it's a little bit of a difference, but, like, realistically, it's running x86 instructions. It's going to be running the instructions for RDNA 2. Like, we really are to the point where PCs, or where consoles are just PCs that are all built uniformly. That's what we're to. So really, it's security cracking at this point. It's not what emulation used to be, of having to, like, rewrite the instruction sets and build out a program that can rerun those instruction sets. It's excuse me, the overhead computationally for emulators is probably going to just start being security more than anything. You built a PC, but it wouldn't turn on. I think the motherboard was faulty or your CPU pins were bent. Oof, the CPU pins being bent would be rip, man. Do you still have it, or, like, did you have to send it off to get it fixed or something? Because, like, the number one thing to do is just reseat everything and check. I mean, if the CPU pins are bent, you may be able to bend them back depending on what the CPU is and how many and how badly they're bent. Like, I mean, if it's one pin on an AMD, on like a, you know, with their PGA socket style, like, you can kind of bend one of those back once and it'll work. Unless you can get it, like, warranted or something. One of the biggest things for causing a system not to turn on is, like, the RAM not being seated properly, or, like, a hard drive or GPU not being quite working. Also, I guess the question is, like, when it wasn't turning on, was, like, the computer itself turning on but nothing showing up on the screen? Still have it. Have to buy a new CPU, and if it's not, don't know what you can do. You're gonna start streaming, but you can't. I gotcha, man. I gotcha. Have you checked the CPU to see if, like, any of the pins are bent? Like, physically looked at it? Because there's a lot of things that can make a computer not post aside from CPU. My computer, my old computer, which is sitting over there in a pile, was having issues turning on and staying on, and for me, it was that the SATA cables for one of the SSDs were, like, not quite connecting properly. So when the system tried to, like, talk to everything and ask everything to turn on, it didn't get a response from the hard drive, and was like, oh, well, nope, it wouldn't turn on. Oh, okay, so they are bent. Yeah, all right. Yeah, in that case, yeah, you got to get the new CPU. Odds are 7 to 10 of them will not bend back properly. Yo, King Po, welcome to the stream. How you doing? And so what kind of parts did you get for it? For the computer? What's up with those BIOS updates when you build a new PC? Like, what do you mean? Like, having to do a BIOS update for it to work? Or, like, having to do, like, just BIOS updates right after building a new PC? Because the only real, like, updates you need to do for it to work come from AMD's side with the AM4 socket, because when they shipped the original, like, AM4 motherboards back in the like Z170s or B150s, I think, like the first gen AM4 motherboards, they didn't have the BIOSes. Like, the BIOSes didn't include instructions for turning on a 3000 series chip or a 4000 series chip. That's just because those didn't exist at the time that the motherboard was created. So there was an update to make them compatible, but you have to get the update to put that CPU in the motherboard sometimes. You need to get a kit or something to update it from, you think? Okay, so I think you're like for the computer to even turn on. Yeah, in that case, what you're looking at is the AM4 socket has had 5 years of support. Like the actual shape, physically and electrically, that socket has been the same since 2015 when they released the original Ryzen, like Zen 1 CPUs. And they promised 5 years of intergenerational compatibility, or at least of just like support in general of that socket. And they did it. But part of that came down to they didn't know 100% of all the CPUs that were going to exist right then. And the more CPUs you support in a BIOS, the larger the BIOS is and the bigger of a ROM chip you have to have on the board. So usually you look back to before this whole 5 years long lifespan of this socket. Most motherboards really only had 1 or 2 generations of support. So when you added a third, these motherboard makers didn't account for that in their BIOS. So despite it being compatible, the BIOS wouldn't work with a new CPU. That's like, it's not common. And so their solution is basically to update the BIOS, and you would remove support for the super old CPUs and add support for the new ones, just because there's only so many megabytes of storage on that flash chip to keep instructions for running everything. So the problem is like they're compatible, but you have to update one to work with the other, and you can't use that. You have to update the motherboard to work with the CPU, and you can't use the CPU it doesn't work with to update it. So yeah, that was a situation where you either had to like get an older CPU, update the BIOS, and put your new CPU in from AMD, or like from your buddy or something. I can't check. Your uncle has all the parts right now because he tried to bend the pins back. That's all the boxes do. Rip. I got you, man. I got you. Yo, T-Tune, how's it going? Long time no see. Yeah, you're doing fine. Just tired from the long day. I got you, man. I got you. How you doing? I'm doing well. I am doing well. I'm enjoying the shiny hunting. Excited to try to do some of the other shiny hunts in this game. Excited to probably play some other games. I'm thinking possibly Wednesday, guys. Probably not tomorrow, despite it being like more timely to do it tomorrow. I might do a different game for the stream, just because I feel like it. Probably doing some Master Chief Collection, some multiplayer in that. Not sure how it would work, but I'd get that set up and working. Halo 4 drops for Master Chief on PC tomorrow, so I'm excited to play that. I haven't played that in a while. I remember playing a lot of SWAT in that, so I am excited to do some SWAT in Halo 4. Maybe some Reach. I've been playing SWAT in Halo 3 the past couple nights, and it's been fun. So I'm thinking I'll do that. Honestly, if I hadn't scheduled this stream as a Pokemon stream before like I thought about it, I probably would have tried to do a Halo stream tonight. So I think that's what I'll do Wednesday, probably. I have plans tomorrow night, so I probably won't be able to do it then. But yeah. So yeah, that should be fun. That should be fun. Maybe we can, like, if some other like viewers have it or something, we can like party up or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many of you have it. I gotta go. Alright, see you later, Alpha Wolf. Hope work goes well. Good luck with getting your PC repaired. Yeah. Hopefully that all works out. I understand. Yeah, bending some pins really sucks. So, best of luck to you with that. YouTube's weird now. Before you receive notifications now, it sometimes pops off even with all activated. Like it doesn't show the notifications. That's really weird. I don't know. I feel like part of it in my experience with the notifications not working on apps is partially my fault. For the longest time, I didn't want apps to notify me about anything outside of messaging apps telling me I got a new message or something. Unless it was something that was a singular person actively reaching out to me, it didn't want it. Right? So I went through a lot of work, as notifications came up, muting them. But recently it's alright, I want to, there's a couple, topics or artists or musicians or just people or groups in general. It's I want to know when they say something, even if I'm checking regularly. I want to know when a new thing is mentioned, just so I can see it. You know, it's the same kind of like notifications with the bell icon and stuff. Like, but they don't work, despite me having turned that off. And it's not just on YouTube. It is on YouTube, but it's also not just on YouTube. I don't know. That might just be me. It might just also be like those things are always weird. Really crappy day. But you'll live. I'm sorry, King Po. I missed your messages. Sorry to hear you had a bad day, man. Tomorrow will be better. Haircut? No haircut yet. I just pulled all my hair up. It's long enough now that I can basically have a ponytail. So the opposite of getting it cut is still growing. It's just one of those things where I don't have to go back to the office, so I don't really care to get it cut at the moment. So now it's like pulling it off my neck. This is getting long enough that it, like, if I look up, I can feel it like going down my shirt, and that's kind of weird. With a haircut, I gotcha. Yeah, it looks a lot shorter when it's not like curling around my headphones and onto my face again. Yo, Hulk, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Plot twist, you get a call an hour before work to get to the office and you can't get a haircut before then. I wouldn't be the person with the longest hair in the office. I've done video calls with it this long. Really, it's just like, if it's still to the point we're not going back to the office, a haircut feels unnecessary. Like an unnecessary adventure into the world, right? Like right now. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I get it cut so it looks good when I go places, but I'm not going places, so why spend the money to get it cut? Really? Is kind of the thing. And it's also like, it's long enough now that it's kind of like, how long will it get? Also, I would not get that surprise call and be told to go into work because they have already officially told us we're not going back to the office until June. Which is a long ways away. I will have worked longer at home than I worked in the office with this company. It's weird to think. I'll have spent like 15 months working from home with this company and 9 months in the office. I started in June of last year. Like, I'll be going back right before, like, potentially going back. Like, they still reserve the right to push it off further. Because originally it was like, we'd go back at the end of the year, like at the start of 2021, but things have not gotten better in the world, as far as the reason we have left the office, so no reason to go back yet. Yo, Firemaster, welcome to the stream. I never heard about Regidrago before, new Galar form, or is it a new Pokemon? It is a new Pokemon, added in Galar. They added Regidrago and Regieleki to the list of Regis in the game. If you were forced to do school at home until June, you'd be celebrating. It'd be better for me if my apartment had more than 2 rooms. Because I have this area that I am in with a couch and a TV, and then my kitchen all together, and then my bedroom on the other side of that wall back there, and then a bathroom. That's it. That's the whole apartment. So I'm never not in my office right now. Is kind of the thing. And like my work laptop pings like randomly in the middle of the night. It's like, come on. I'm like watching a show or streaming or just playing a game. It's like not looking at it. It's well after like my work hours, but it's one of those things where you can't escape it. So for me, it's like I kind of want to go back. It also doesn't help that I get the like now that we're entering winter, I get like a laughable amount of sunlight during the day. Like direct sunlight into this apartment. Yo, Keo, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Welcome back. Mike, welcome as well. How you doing? Let's see if I can pull up a picture. I'm gonna send this. I guess I don't know. I don't know if everyone here would see it in Discord if I posted it, but I'll try posting it in Discord. Just want to make sure there's nothing incriminating in the picture. Names or whatnot. Or like dirty laundry. Something. Yeah. So I'm going to post this. This is literally all of the direct sunlight that my apartment got today. Like, if you were in Discord, check it out once this picture loads. That's literally all the sunlight that my apartment got today, and it's just going to keep getting less and less. It's crazy. The problem is I live, like, facing more apartments. So the sun, like, at noon, peeks over them, and that's it. That's it. And it's not like I have, like, a one singular tiny window. Like, the entire wall is window. It's just all shade now. Dirty laundry. Yeah, fortunately that's all still in the clothes bin and in my closet. Trying to discard. Alright, dude, alright. Yeah, I just posted a picture. It's basically the picture of my living room. You can see, like, right back behind me, essentially. You're going for Shiny Dialga and Ultra Sun. Good luck with that one, man. Online school, it's not that good. It's like giving you a free 6 months. You don't truly need to do that much effort. That's what happened with us here. So it depends. Some people will disagree. Yeah, some people, like, are going to be loving the fact that, like, they don't have to do as much work, but then you realize you're going to go back and need to have done that work. And if it's not as effective, like, you're basically just pushing all the stress down the road if you're not doing it now. Yeah, I am in the camp, and I'm in the minority out of my team as far as this question's been asked several times. Like, oh, how do you feel about working from home? And everyone's like, oh, it's great. We can always do this. But, like, I live so close to my office that the commute has never been a problem. Like, I can walk to work faster than most of my coworkers can drive to work. That's how close I am. And usually around, like, October and around February, I'll do that because it's nice outside. So I do that, and so, like, I have no issues going to the office because it allows me to mentally separate work and home, and, like, that's it. Like, it's not like, oh, you know, I get that, but I lose, you know, an hour and a half of my day to commuting or something. It's like, nah. I have the easiest commute of, like, anyone that works at this office. Like, I can literally, sitting in the break room at work, I can see my apartment. Like, I am that close to the office, which is very rare around here. But because I got the job before I got the apartment, I was able to do that. I am a little salty that I got a super expensive apartment to be closer to the office, and then renewed my lease thinking we were going back to the office, and then we're still just home for, like, the rest of my lease. And it's like, I could have gone anywhere. I could have moved to, like, the cheapest location of the United States and have still done my job just as effectively. But, alas. That reminds you, your exams start December 16th. Are you going to final projects for most of your classes? Dang, dude. How you feel about them? How you feel about the being close? Close to done. Being close in office work is like a blessing. It really is. Like, it's like, oh no, I forgot something. I can go home. For a while when I started, I eventually got lazy and stopped doing this and found food I liked in the cafeteria at the office. But, like, I'd just come home for lunch. Like, you know, I'd go down, I'd, like, walk out of the office, hop in my car, drive home, eat lunch, watch TV for a little bit, hop back in the car, drive back to work. It's like I could do that. I eventually kind of realized, like, that was dumb. I was like, that's a lot of extra effort. Theoretically, like, even on my lunch break, I could leave the office, walk home, grab something, and come back. Like, it's less than an hour round trip. So it was genuinely nice. It was genuinely nice to have that. For me, legit, there were days where it took me longer to get out of the parking deck than it took me to drive from the parking deck to my apartment. Like, that's kind of nice. You know, like, every day I had my phone set up to, you know, tell me my commute and everything. It was like, oh, it's going to be a really, really heavy traffic. 7 minutes. I was like, all right. Like, it wasn't bad. It was not bad. Yeah, you're going to have to wake up at, like, 5 a.m. to get ready. Rip, man. Yeah, that's one thing I will miss. Despite, like, you know, not having that long of a commute, I will have to get up more than 5 minutes before I start work. Like, it's no longer a get out of bed, walk outside my bedroom, and boot up my computer and do work until, like, noon. It's like, alright, actually I gotta get up, I gotta, you know, get breakfast, I got breakfast at the office more than I got lunch at the office. I just have a really big breakfast and, like, a snack at, like, 3, and that was my food. Because it was, like, super cheap to get, like, a super filling breakfast there. But I would, you know, you gotta wake up and get dressed and get a shower and do everything. It's like, I don't have to be presentable when I start my day. Like, I can get up and I can check my emails without changing into, like, clothes for the day. Like, just wake up in some pajamas and go and start work. Like, that is pretty nice. I will say that is a great benefit of working from home. It's just, that doesn't outweigh, like, the fact that my couch is now an office more than anything else. You know, like, for a while, I, like, had my computer set up, my work computer set up where it used my monitors and, like, my mouse and keyboard and my webcams and cameras. It was great. I had the best looking video in any of our Teams meetings. I had the best audio in any of our Teams meetings because everyone else was just on their laptops. I had my monitors, I had everything edited all everywhere. You know, I have a laptop dock. The laptop dock's just, like, sitting in a drawer on my desk right now. In one of these drawers at my desk right now, because, like, for one, I'm still working on my desk and I'm not going to wire everything up twice, but mainly because I don't want to, because it got to the point very quickly where this was work, this was my office, it was no longer my, like, lounging space. I was like, nah, I can't have that, cannot have that. Like, if there's, like, a very big meeting, I'll get everything set up again and then tear it back down, but, like, I'm not going to spend all my day sitting here, because then, you know, like I said, my laptop pings. It'll be pinging after work while I'm still technically sitting where I was doing work, and, you know, you got to have that separation mentally. It was another reason why I added, I think I mentioned this a stream or two ago, I ended up buying, like, smart lights so that I could, like, I have, like, a work setting and a non-work setting. So, like, you know, at the start of the day, like, I have 2 different light colors in my apartment. Like, you know, they're RGB lights, like, they're the Philips Hue stuff, but, like, you know, like this, like, I have them set where, like, it's hard to tell because the camera white balances, but the lights up there are, like, a much more just, like, pure white during the day. And at the end of the day, I get to go, hey, Google, I'm done with work. Oh, it didn't hear me. Hey, Google, I'm done with work. And then they change, which is really nice. It's a great way to end the day. So, like, that's the way that I'm able to, like, mentally, like, separate work and not work. Just because, like, if I had a 2-bedroom apartment for myself, I could make 1 bedroom the office and 1 bedroom bedroom. And the common area is, like, the area my computer could be and my TV can be and food can be and everything. But I don't have that with a 1 bed. I'm not going to make my bedroom my workspace, because, nah, that is sleep space. That's the bedroom. So, there are things that I have to overcome to work from home. Like, working from home is, like, a benefit our company already has. Like, the reason why they're not, like, pushing for us to go back, and they've pushed it off so far, is because, especially for my team, we're all software developers. Like, we were only required to be in the office, like, on a specific day, 1 day a week. Like, Wednesday was the only day we couldn't work from home, and then we could work from home whatever combination of 2 days aside from that. So, like, we all already were able to work from home. We were all already remoting into meetings half the time. Like, there was no need. There's no need for us to, like, go back. We can all do our jobs just as effectively at home. Which for most people is a benefit, but for me, definitely, I think the cons outweigh the pros in my personal situation. But that's a personal thing. So it's like I gotta work around that myself more than the company has to work around it. Yo, the Boulder has joined your Pokemon team. What does shiny Dragon Reggie look like? Just a brighter version of the regular. The body looks a little more pinkish. The arms look a little more light bluish. From everything I've seen, really is the thing is it'll sparkle like Regice. It's another one of those where it changes enough that I'd consider it noticeable, but it doesn't change enough that I would, like, where you can say like, oh, it's blue suddenly, like the whole body's blue and the eyes are red or something like noticeable. Yo, PokeTuber, welcome to the stream. You watching on your TV? Awesome, dude. 4K webcam. Man, I've considered getting I considered for a while getting one of the Elgato Cam Links and setting up my DSLR as a webcam, but that was a bit extra. It's like the little webcam I have works just fine. I'm not gonna pay like $100 to get a thing to adapt my camera to USB and then use that. Like that was too much because then I'd have to buy a stand for it and everything. That's a little much. It'd be great. It'd be cool, but I'm not gonna do that. A horse, welcome to the stream. Greetings. Totally didn't change your name and now it's stuck like that for a month. It's so great when you hear people go, I changed my name because I've been able to change it before, and then, oops, it's stuck because I've done it too many times. I remember that happened to one of my friends a while back. They changed the joke, intending to change it right back, but they had already changed it like twice for other jokes. It's like, you can only change your name 3 times in a 90-day period, and it's like, oh no. For a while, I didn't even know it had a shiny form. People were wondering if it did, I think, at first, because it was taking people a long time to get the shinies, and it was taking... And, like, the fact that, you know, like, look at the Galarian birds and stuff, like, they're locked. Cosmog's locked. That's the one that I'm most upset about. Like, at this point, I think they're the only things left in the Alola decks that are locked and can't be caught as a shiny. I'm your favorite anime. Rowlet, you love the profile picture. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad to be your favorite anime, man. It's got a Nintendo Switch. Awesome, dude. Congrats. And just beat the story. Nice. 90 days. It's like you can change it after like a month or something, but like you can only change it 3 times in a 90-day period. So like if you changed it once every month, you'd be fine. Like it's not like you hit 3 days, you do it 3 times and you have to wait 90 days. It's like you change it once and that's when the 90 days starts. At least from what I'm aware. This was also back in like 2017. Should you get Crown Tundra? I think it's fun. I think it's fun. It's not a whole lot of extra stuff, but it is like it's about as much as like if you had Pearl and you got Platinum, it's about that much extra. If you had Sun and you got Ultra Sun, you know how it's pretty. It's not a whole lot, but it does add a little bit. I've enjoyed it. I have definitely enjoyed playing it. Talking about the profile picture. Oh, your favorite anime and Rowlet in the profile picture. Ah, yes. I got you now. I know what you're saying. Mindless Enigma, the anime. If someone wants to animate it, go ahead. I have a drawing tablet, but I think the pen's broken. I never used it. I tried it with like Illustrator once. I'm like, oh, I'm not that great at it. I'll use it later. And then I unplugged it and never plugged it back in, and it didn't work when I tried it last week. It'd be cool to do that. It'd be cool just to do something creative like that, or like make a song or something. But I make videos, I guess. Considering buying it, I gotcha, man. I gotcha. You'd watch a. Just gotta have one viewer and it's all worth it, man. Maybe not financially, but artistically. How did I think of my YouTube name? That quote from Patrick of the inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. My mind was blank one day that came into it while I was playing GTA 5 and I was like, Mindless Enigma sounds like a cool name. And then I just used it. Like, I didn't use it immediately, but like, there's a time in 2014, 2015, I think it was 2014, I guess. Yeah, it was 2014. I decided to say screw it and like remade all my accounts on pretty much every platform that I used. Mainly YouTube and like Twitter. The 2 platforms I actually really like used. I remade my accounts there with it. I think Twitter I just changed my name, and like YouTube I just made a whole new Google account and just started fresh. It was like, because my old account was like, my account from like, 6th grade or something. So it was like in 11th grade, I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want that. And so I remade it as this. And yep, it's all based off a SpongeBob quote. What starter did I pick? I picked Scorbunny. You're gonna switch off Facebook for 240? That's not bad. And it came with sword. Hey, that's extra. That's extra nice. Black Friday deal for the Switch is actually amazing. Might buy it. What is it? Had to pick between a depressed frog thing and a happy bunny. Yeah, this Scorbunny was the first fire starter I ever picked. Usually I pick water or grass. Pick Scorbunny? Nice. Nice. I definitely think that was the good choice. Yeah, so I think most of my accounts now are the are mindless enigma. At least as far as like outward facing accounts. Like one of the few accounts I can't get the change that I would actually change is like my freaking Spotify account. I made it on my phone as part of a free trial, so it just picked a random string of letters and numbers as like my official username. Like on mobile you can change it to display your name. You can't do that on the web on like the desktop app. The desktop app just shows that string of characters and like you cannot change it. I do not understand why. So my Spotify account like officially is like 01FEG something. Not that it matters. Excuse me, because Spotify just links through everything else. Don't forget the George starter. You're gonna sub? Alright, thank you, PokeTuber. I appreciate that, man. And Pika-some, how's it going, dude? I guess it's time to get some sleep for another long work university day. Alright, see you later, T-Tune. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Thank you for stopping by. I hope tomorrow goes well for you. Hope to see you again soon. Alright guys, I have an important task. I would like to figure out what to do with this. I want to make this more fun. It's part of something I gotta do, something we gotta, part of my goal with coming back is like I want to have more like community stuff. But so above me for like the past week or so, it's been the member goal. I want to figure out what you guys think is like a good goal and then like something to do if we hit that goal. Like, by the end of the year, if we hit X number of members, do this or do that. You guys have any cool ideas for that? Fun ideas? Something like, big enough to make it worth it. Like, it's not just like, oh, we get a longer stream if we hit 10 members or something like that. Like, if we hit like a decent number of members, we do something that's like decently like, exciting or something like that. When you go to your channel, it says channel something like that instead of your actual channel name. That's just how YouTube is. Same kind of deal. But you also can search for my username and find that. Like that's different. Because you can also go to channel/mindlessenigma and it'll come to my channel. That's something that you get at like 100 subs. So both URLs are still valid. Maybe a gift card for eShop or Nintendo Online. I don't know. As far as that. Forfeits? Forfeits for what? Or a sleep lock? That could be neat. Hate Olivia. Rip the Dartrix, man. She killed the Dartrix. Rip. He made it so far. Sleep lock could be an interesting idea. That's at least like something a little bit different. But it doesn't just have to be like a Pokemon stream. Like I said, like the stream, like a longer stream is something that like I don't think is like a big enough incentive. Like what's something you think would actually like draw, you know, like would draw the members and stuff like that, right? He was a good burb. As all burbs are. An unfortunate, an untimely passing. Because rip flying types. He's playing your 2DS, your sister got mad and threw it on the ground, and when she threw it, you lost your copy of Ultramoon. Oh no! That's no good. Sorry to hear that, man. My DS Lite was broken when I let my sister borrow it for a bit. Like, you know, she wasn't like doing it intentionally, but it was a thing where like I was at an event and she was bored, so she used my DS and you know, like the old DS's like had issues where if you push the screen back all the way, it would eventually break the screen, and it broke the screen, and the speakers are dead, and like half my games are corrupted because she would hit save and rip it out, and, you know, all that fun stuff. Unless you still have Torcat. Torcat's the next victim. Oh no. The fate's been decided now that you've said that. It's like saying it's like, you know, when the cop in the movie says they're like 2 days away from retiring. So close to being Ultra on Citra, and then you got a 3DS. Did you beat it on 3DS then? I've heard Citra's gotten pretty good. I tried it once just to see what like a high-res Pokemon game looked like. It didn't end up doing too hot, despite being on like a relatively powerful computer for the time. So I wasn't super impressed by it then, but that was also like 3 years ago, so who knows? It's probably gotten a lot better since then. Yeah, Citra's gotten better. Yeah, like that's what I've heard. Like it can run on a lot lower end systems now and runs pretty well. I think yeah, it might have, my computer might have just had like one weird spec that wasn't right or something like that at the time. Let's wait till the Switch emulator. I mean, there already are Switch emulators, like that are decent enough that they've gotten in legal issues with Nintendo. I think there was one that tried to make their own like online service that was through their Patreon or something, and they got flamed hard by the community and then any of their legal counsels. Like, what the heck are you doing? Like, you can't do this. Like, it's one thing already to offer a service that allows you to bypass paying Nintendo for games. That's already quite illegal and something that will get you in trouble with Nintendo. Now making another thing that bypasses another thing that makes Nintendo money, and you charging people money for it? Like, nah, that's... They very quickly shut that down. Like, they themselves realized, this is dumb, we cannot do this, this is bad. I forget who it was. But, yeah, so Switch emulators exist. Switch emulators are out there, and they seem to be doing pretty well. It goes back to to what I was talking about earlier, like the new Xboxes and the PS5. They will be emulated very quickly. Unlike something like the PS3 that's just a bizarre, unique architecture, the modern consoles are basically just a computer, but all the parts are just soldered to the board by default. Like, that's what it is. Like I said, both CPUs use Zen 2 architecture. Both GPUs use RDNA 2 architecture. Both of those are architectures that are available or will be available very soon in PC hardware components. My computer runs that for its CPU. Mine's a Zen 2. I think we're a couple days away, or a week or two away. I don't know exactly when the AMD 6000 series cards are launching, but they are coming soon. And once those are out, we will have RDNA 2 cards and PCs. Like, the hardware's not like unique anymore. The Switch runs NVIDIA, runs an NVIDIA chip. Like, we've already emulated those. It's pretty easy to emulate. We've put Android on it. Like, we're to a point where like computer hardware's getting just so similar, but just different packages. There's emulators for Xbox and PS5. Not yet, but there will be soon. You're just not talking. That's all good, man. It was made... Yuzu. Okay, yeah. That sounds familiar. But yeah, so... There aren't emulators out for it yet. I don't think they'll be out for a little bit. But nowadays, it's not so much about rewriting or writing an emulator that actually, like, translates the code from the games of, say, like, an N64 to run on a modern computer. It's no longer that. It is breaking all the security measures that are in place to prevent you from pirating. That's really all it is now, is breaking all the DMCA stuff, which is illegal. I do not endorse it. But that's what it is now. Is it's just that little bit. It's a lot more complex. Companies and technology has gotten better to prevent this from happening. But once you break that, you don't have to do more work on top of it anymore. Terrified for the jacket Ultra Beast thing? Nihiliga? There's no way the PS5 emulator... No, absolutely not. It'll come. It'll come. And I mean, like, we have a PS4 emulator before the end of the PS4. I don't even know if we have, like... It took well into the Xbox One for us to get a functional original Xbox emulator up and running. Now it's there, and now there's a whole Xbox Live community rejuvenated off of the old Xbox through the emulators, but, like... It's also one of those things where it's not 100% worth it. Like, who would... There are not a lot of people that would genuinely benefit from emulating a PS5 on a PC over buying a PS5. Like it's not there. It's gonna be a common console. Right now it's not. There's a whole bunch of factors into why these new consoles are completely sold out everywhere and pretty much will be until almost Christmas, if not after. But they're gonna be decently common consoles. They're going to be cheaper. They're going to be cheaper. 100%. They are going to be cheaper than an equivalently powered PC. That's just, as a PC guy, the objective truth is the Xbox Series X and the PS5 both whoop the butt of any $500 PC you build right now without, like, you going to a friend who has a part they'll give you for, like, way discounted just because they're your buddy. Like, you can't buy a GPU right now that's equivalent to what's in those consoles for the price of the console. From everything we've seen, it's just impossible to do. So there's not a PC that is as cheap as, like, that is both as cheap as and as powerful as one of those consoles. So there's no market for that emulator outside of, like, people who just want to see if they can do it. So, like, you'll have those people, but it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while for that. It's going to be very small little teams that are going to be working on it, and you'll get, like, an update, like, after a year or something like that, because they're just working on it in their free time and whatnot. Like, that's what it is. Are emulators illegal? Depends on the country. Usually the emulator itself isn't. The pirated games are. Emulators absolutely break terms of service, but, like the EULA... Breaking a EULA gets you banned by Sony or Microsoft. It doesn't get you thrown in prison. That's what it is. Same way that, like, homebrewing a console in the US, like I said, there are situations where it is technically illegal to modify your console or emulate and stuff, but that's different countries for the time being. But it's not illegal to have an emulator or to make an emulator. It's usually considered piracy and theft if you distribute, like, copyrighted software. The OS, probably. The games, absolutely. So It's one of those things where you always go on like a ROM website and they have the thinnest little like, we're not doing things wrong. We're telling you only to download that game if you own it legally. But there is a genuine reason to have like stores of ROMs online. Look back to like old Ataris and stuff. Like those emulators, it's like those games do not exist anywhere anymore. There is no production of that game. This is an archive. This is historical in a sense. But still, you technically only should download it if you bought that game on your own and have it. Like, so it's kind of like where the proper way to use an emulator is to like get the emulator and then rip the disc yourself onto like your computer, which is hard to do. Some people don't pirate games so they can avoid paying. It's so they can add some extra features and additions to the original company never added to make it more fun for everyone. I mean, yeah, it's not like everyone's out there to try to like steal. That's not the whole purpose. I know people pirate games because games don't have demos anymore. Like they'll pirate the game, play 30 to 40 minutes of it, go, this is fun, delete their pirated copy of the game, and then go buy it legitimately. Maybe move their save file over if they can, but ultimately they buy the game legally. There are people that do that. Not everyone. You cannot deny that the majority of people pirating games are pirating their game to get a free game. But, yeah, and there are... Game companies won't say they're genuine, but there are less shady reasons to like, download a game from a torrent or something. I would like to say emulators should only be used for making, like, random Nuzlocke. Like, that's one of the more legitimate uses for them, is like, hey, we modified this game to play it in a different way. Like, if I have Emerald on an emulator, I own Emerald. At a point in time, a copy of Emerald was purchased for me. It is still in my possession. But if my Game Boy died, I'd need an emulator to play it. It's like that's where like the side of it that is more genuine comes in. Or like I said, the really old stuff, where it's more so an archival effort than anything else. Like that's when it's different. That's what I argue for emulating. I mean, yeah, I'm totally for it. I wish there were fewer restrictions on it. I mean, because you end up in a situation where when you try to ban that, you ban other things inadvertently or potentially on purpose. Look back, I guess, a year and a half-ish, a little over a year and a half to Japan, where, like, I can no longer get support if this dies, my 3DS cap card. I cannot get support for this anymore. Sony and Nintendo worked to outlaw hardware and software that could modify game files in Japan. Hardware and software. It is now illegal to distribute those in Japan or to make them in Japan. I don't know about possessing them. That could be concerning for Japanese streamers. But, like, you cannot modify, like, so Katsukity worked out of Japan, had to just shut down their business entirely overnight. That's what happened. So Katsukity doesn't exist, their emails no longer work, their website is gone, they no longer sell stuff, like, everything's gone, their physical shop's gone. Because they had a physical shop in, like, Akihabara, I think. Just because, of course, they did. But it's gone. It's all gone because of that. And, you know, technically, that law... Someone pointed out that technically, like, I imagine there's some caveat in there, but the law may have been written in a way that, like, technically, like, Notepad was banned, because you can modify game files in Notepad if you open them up. The whole point was to ban pirating and homebrew, but cap cards got banned in there as well. That's why I generally dislike regulations that go after that kind of stuff, because it hits with too broad of a brush. Like, if they don't hit with that broad of a brush, they leave open loopholes. But if they hit with the brush, you screw over genuine things. It's worse if you sell things. Yeah. Yeah, like, if you bought a game and then sold it and then downloaded it from an emulator site and were like, but I owned it. It's like, yeah, but you don't own it now. The sneaky site has a big download button to download a game, but it was a virus, so they hid the actual download button and more options button, which no one would ever click. Like I said, if there's multiple download buttons on a site, click the smallest. Never click the big flashing one. It's always wrong. And always, 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 when you're downloading something, hover over the download and see what, like in Chrome on the bottom right, left of your screen, it says the URL is. If it's something sketchy, just don't. If you go full digital only on consoles in the future, people who don't have a Wi-Fi connection can't play new games. Yeah, that's true. The argument for not having a Wi-Fi connection gets weaker and weaker every day, because it's more common to have Wi-Fi. But it's true. It's genuinely a thing. I like getting consoles that can play physical games because I like having a physical game collection. I don't care about... I'm actually annoyed that I have to swap out cartridges on my Switch, but I still buy physical because I want to put those boxes on a shelf. Like, I should have bought Animal Crossing digital. I'd probably still be playing it if I bought it digital because I wouldn't have to swap out my cartridges every time I wanted to play it, but I wanted it physical. You're in your car because you don't want to go back up to your chilly apartments. I feel you, Mel. I feel you. Hopefully it is not too chilly. You emulated a game that you wanted to play and then decided to buy it. Yeah, like that's technically not a valid thing, but at the same time, like, it's the same reason. I feel like that falls into the same kind of logic as why, like, technically, a game developer could go after pretty much any Let's Player or any streamer playing their game. But there's just an unwritten agreement across the whole community. I was at a couple times that it has come up, like, like, game devs won't, like, take down gameplay footage from their games because someone will... They're going to get more revenue from the people who go, oh, that was a cool game, I'm going to go play it, than the people who just go, I watched someone play it, I'm fine. Like, there's an understanding that playing a game on stream is free advertising. Sometimes they'll send the games if, like, it's a popular enough streamer and they know for sure they're getting that money back, but, like, technically, there are 9 people watching. There have been 75 total playbacks on the stream so far. There have been 75 times people have watched content from Pokemon Sword today. Some people have realized that there's new Regis to go and get. Some people have asked me if they should buy the game, and I've gone, I did. I think it's good. Like, companies know that this is a good thing for them to see their games played. Like, technically Microsoft and 343 could be upset like I said on Wednesday, I'm probably going to play Halo and Master Chief Collection. They could technically be upset, but Microsoft builds in recording and streaming stuff into Windows because it is good for them. It is good for them as someone who gets a cut of every Microsoft Xbox Game Studios game sold to let people stream their game. So I think in that perspective, like, developers are a little more upset when you can just download the game for free. That's a problem. But, like, if you download it and then you go and buy it, like, morally, I think you're okay. Legally, you're in gray area. You had Ultra on a 2DS at some point in your life. Yeah, but like, if you didn't sell it, you just lost it. Like, I think that's different. You still are the owner of the right to play that copy of the game. A little bit different. Like, if you sold the game and then, like, you bought the game, played it, sold it, and then downloaded it, that, you can't really argue that. I'm getting close to 9% of the top hat. We are. And that'll be 900, and that'll be the stream for the day when we get to that. So excited for the day that happens. What happens? I'm very far behind in chat at the moment. Why can't Nintendo be like every other company, instead of taking down fan remakes, have them actually work with a company like Sega? That is not like every other company. Sega is like the only one that's done that. Also, because Nintendo makes good games, Sega was floundering and went, y'all have made a good game. Sega did the smart move because those people showed that they could make a better game than Sega could. There might be some of that behind closed doors with Nintendo, but Nintendo makes quality games on their own, and they have a very specific idea in mind with their games. So usually what they're going after, I assume what you're actually kind of pointing to is a lot of like the really popular, not ROM hacks, but fan Pokemon games, something like Uranium. That's taken down because they have to take it down. They might want to as well, but like, as the owner of the trademark for the term Pokemon, you have to pursue trademark disputes. You have to go after them in order to keep the trademark. It's why, like, trademark law requires that the holder of the trademark actively pursues and makes sure that the trademark is used by them for the right thing. If you just get lax, like, if someone started making their own videos and called their studio Pixar, and Disney Pixar didn't go after that, eventually, like, the legal system and the way trademarks works would be like, well, you can't protect that term anymore. It's a term for a type of movie. Like, if a genre of movie is suddenly Pixar, like, people just start calling their 3D animated movies Pixar movies. And Pixar doesn't go, you can't do that, and doesn't actively pursue it, they eventually lose the right to be the only ones to call something Pixar. It's like why, if you go to Google, none of like Google's official statements, official like press releases will ever say the word Google as a verb. They won't, because Google is a trademarked term for the name of their company and the name of their search engine. Everyone says they Googled stuff, and a Google employee in an official capacity will never say to go Google something. They will say go search something on Google, because Google is a trademark term, and if they get lax with it, it's no longer trademark. That's just, trademark law is weird. Using the Pokemon logo and the Pokemon name to release your own independent video game is something Nintendo and Pokemon Company have to go after. Or eventually, if they don't do it, anyone can start doing that. And then you don't know. Like, legitimate games can be released in a store that are called Pokemon that aren't by Pokemon. That's just a thing. I beat the jacket thing. Upcoming Howl battle is scary. You got this, horse. You got this, man. Sister lost your Ultra 2 years ago. It's someplace in the kitchen of the trash. One of the two. Digital sucks. It makes sense for some stuff. All my Steam games are digital, obviously, but like, I like having physical copies if I can. You just want to have the case of your games to jump. Yeah. Bring over your shiny Darkrai to Pokemon Home. It's illegitimate, however. You do have a used Platinum that is a legit Darkrai event, so you'll hunt that after you finish RC. It's nice, dude. I'm going to speed read these comments. It's gotten to the point that I'm like a whole page behind. About Sword because of a different streamer. Yeah, like that's a genuine thing. People will buy games to stream and because of streamers. It's very good for them to keep streamers happy. Don't really know what to cook tonight. Spaghetti. Not again in 1 month. Spaghetti's only one time a month. Listening to spaghetti, just noodles, no sauce or anything, just noodles this time. It's different, wholly different. Does Home let illegitimate Mons in? Know people's story of their Pokemon lost their Pokemon in the process of transferring because of that. Really? I figured it would have just kicked them out instead of like calling them. I mean, I guess like as long as it passes all the checks, it's fine. Like it can't tell if a Pokemon was truly genned in or not. It can just tell it like, hey, this Pokemon was never available in a Cherish Ball or something. I think. That's usually how it's done. Just demo it to see if you liked it. He did say he stopped when I bought it. Yeah. Like I know there are people who legitimately do that. Going back to the pirating conversation. Think your shiny Pumpkaboo is about to die. Oh no! I mean ramen. You can go for ramen right now. I have like a whole like pack. Like right back at the start of all the pandemic stuff, I was like, all right, we're just gonna all like quarantine for two weeks and be good. Like thinking everyone would be reasonable, and then they weren't. I was like, all right, we're just going to do this for like 2 to 4 weeks. I'm just going to buy like a 24 box of ramen. And I did. And I haven't had any of it. So I just have like a box of ramen in my pantry. I should have it at some point. How can you record on your Switch? And like, if you just want to record a little clip, you can hold down the screenshot button and it'll capture like the last 30 seconds. If you want to do like streaming, you have to have like a capture card, something to read the HDMI signal. Hold the black square button. Pokemon Uranium, that was like a fan game that came out in, I think, 2016. That showed up, like people have been talking about it for a while, and it got really popular. It came out, people seemed to like it, and then it got shut down. Pokemon forced them to like take it down, take it offline. Because, as I said, like, you can't have a game that looks like an official Pokemon game be called Pokemon, not released by the people who own Pokemon without their like permission. Yeah, it was a fan game. You're able to get it through bank because you did the void glitch and made it level 50 and removed a certain move. The requirement to get it through bank. Home should be fine. Yeah, if it gets into bank, it should go through home just fine. I think home's had some issues with certain mons. But it wasn't due to like them being, it was just due to like home deciding like, nah, we're not going to do it this way for some reason. I know people were having issues with like Go right when home came out, or right when that released like a week or two ago. Letting almost I don't know. Yo, Maz, what's going on, man? Of course I remember you. How you doing? Welcome back. Really behind on shit. Dude, I was so behind. I'm still pretty behind. Lost your small rat thing. No. Remember when people hoarded toilet paper? Dude. Like, stores are still like, you can only have like 2 packs. Like, that was such a dumb thing. It wasn't ever a problem here. It was a problem in Australia because Australia had to import theirs. The story was then picked up across the world as a toilet paper shortage, but not mentioning that it was in Australia, so everyone ran out and bought it. And like, the stores were saying, we have enough. The shelves are empty because we cannot restock it fast enough. Like, not we can't restock it because we don't have any, but literally like, there is only so much toilet paper we can bring in on a semi-truck every day. Like, there was a surplus, basically. Like, in terms of the amount that existed, we had enough to handle the demand. It was coming in too fast. That was crazy. I'm so glad that I had bought like a big pack of it right before all that craziness, because I was fine. Are people eating Tide products? Those people don't. What about videos? Yeah, so if you want to record like a long video, you need like a capture card. Blaziken almost died. Dang, dude. Made it through, though. Go's way of transferring to home is dumb as heck. I've seen that. It looks... I think people are legit... I think the concern and outrage about it is genuine, and it's totally legit. Like, it's not just people whining to whine. It makes sense to be upset about. Like, and I agree it's dumb. I'm not, like, enraged or anything, simply because I am not going to use it. I never intended to. I tend to keep my Pokemon in the games that they were in, unless I have a very specific reason for moving them. Like my Trevenant I use and use some for Harvest Skill Swap. Like, that one came from Alpha Sapphire, specifically because it needed to come from Alpha Sapphire. Like, that's the only reason that I've transferred a Pokemon, is, like, because I need to get it from one game to another. Aside from that, I usually keep them in the same game. I keep them on the same save file and everything. Letting's at 1 HP. Oof. Maybe he'll hold on. Everyone's calling Pokemon Company Niantic greedy, and you can see why. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's a mobile game. The business, like, the entire business model for those games is, like, milk the crap out of any of your players that are dedicated enough to pay you. Enough of the fan bases are free to play that, like, they understand they can upset you and I haven't put $1 into Pokemon, like in a Pokemon Go. I've played entirely free, but there are people who buy raid passes every day. There are people who buy Pokeballs every day. There are people who, bought a team medallion to switch their team. They're, all these people. It's just they'll constantly pay. I mean, 98% of like the money for those games comes from like the top 2% of people. Like, the biggest whales of those games drop thousands on those games every month. But Tencent is a whole different story. Same deal. crummy mobile game marketing, but like Tencent has a whole extra level to it that I've gotten into before on stream and it's not going to do today. Anything Niantic makes money, it's the committed players. Yeah, I mean, every mobile game business models are just get money out of the whales. Make a game that's interesting enough for new people to join so you get more whales. Keep the whales, screw everyone else. Quit Pokemon Go because you never left your house. Yeah, I mean, right now it's pretty hard to play it. At least properly. Like, I'm just slowly running out of Pokeballs now. I used to, like, always just be tossing them because I literally was running out of space and couldn't hold anymore. But now, like, genuine is genuinely concerned that I'll, like, run out if I play a couple more days of it. DNA's gotten your money from Masters. They had the perfect opportunity, and I can't believe they messed this up. In terms, like, fundamental game design. Like, it's not something they can change. But when you hear Pokemon Gacha game, does anyone not expect it to be, like, actually just capturing every, like, the Pokemon or the Gacha? Like, they had the perfect opportunity for this. Literally, excuse me, getting worked up already. But literally, like look at any gacha game. You've got you know you got like the way gacha games work. You know, you have all these cards or characters you can pull. They have different rarities, and usually if you get multiple, you can increase, like, there is still a reason to get multiple of it. Literally just have the gacha be all the base Pokemon. And, like, if you get a Rowlet, and you get a second Rowlet, in the same way that, like, Love Live with School Idol Project, you would idolize, you could, like, get the idol form of them. I think, it's been so long. I forget, I think that was the term or whatever, but, like, basically you got two of them, you can do, like, a special practice, and, like, boom, they're, like, the better version of that card. They're the, like, real version of the card. A Rowlet and a Dartrix, or a Rowlet and a Rowlet, boom, Dartrix. Like, they had a perfect system set out. They're like, oh, we're going to give you, like, 9 trainers to pull. It's like, what? I was not expecting that to be, like, a gacha for the trainers. I was 100% expecting it to be, like, Pokemon. As soon as it was the trainers, I, like, stopped playing. Welcome back, PokeTuber. You went to Ottawa, you felt like a boss, but then you went back home. Rip. Masters was Sugimori's idea. I wanted a game that every trainer for the series was in. Like, I mean, it makes sense as a concept. I just definitely think they missed out on an opportunity to make a Pokemon gacha game that was like, gotta catch them all. Remember Pokemon Duel or something? I heard about it, I thought about getting into it, and then it seemed like it was just not a thing anymore, and never got into it because of that. That was back when I was trying to do those, like, weekly news video things. I was like, I should probably play all the games I'm talking about. Duel was cool. And it rhymed, so it better be. Duel lost support. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just... If a game's not doing well and the whole thing's based off multiplayer, for one, you don't have enough people to make the game fun. Two, you don't have enough income coming in to support these servers that are way overpowered for, like, 3 people playing. Magikarp Jump, though, the pinnacle of Pokemon games right there. I played that one for, like, a week. It was exactly what I expected it to be, but it was honest about it. Just a dumb little mobile game. Like, I can respect that. If you make a game that's, like, just this super stupid, simple little mobile game, and you just tell me it's a super stupid, simple little mobile game, I'm like, alright, props, fair, respect. There's a place for those. I enjoy those. Like, that's the kind of game I play on my phone. If I want some complex battle system, or, like, these really deep lore and mechanics, I'm gonna go to my computer and sit down in a chair with a mouse and keyboard and play. I know there are people out there who only play games when they're, like, sitting on a train on their commute or something. But that's not me. I don't need that. I need a game that, like, I can play for 30 seconds and put away because, like, I don't know. I'm literally just sitting on a bench waiting for someone. Like, that's all I need. I don't need anything. I don't need it to be something, and I don't want it to be something where it's like, oh, I can't, like, just lock my phone and walk away. Can I get Minecraft for the Switch? How well does that run? I imagine it runs pretty well. It's Minecraft. Y'all, I'm excited for the new Caves update with Minecraft. Looks pretty cool. My friends and I started a world like a month ago, so we kind of missed that. Like, I mean, it's going to be like a year, so we'll probably be in like 3 or 4 different worlds before then, but those caves look really nice. Cost too much to get good mods. That can be the issue with a lot of mobile games. There's a very fine line to walk between like making it too easy to get everything so you don't get whales, but then also making it like too hard to get good stuff so people very clearly see it's pay to win and walk away. You got no ride now. Rip, dude. Hope your mom's doing okay. Just don't get 3DS Minecraft. It's unbelievably bad. I mean, it's the 3DS. I'm not surprised. Don't get 3DS Mario Maker. You paid $50. Why did you pay $50 for that? 3DS games weren't even that expensive. But yeah, no, 3DS Mario Maker was an absolute sham. Like, come on. The whole point of Mario Maker is playing levels made by other people. Like, yes, you can make them, but then the whole point is making levels for other people to play, not making levels for yourself to play, and that's it. Like, yeah, that one didn't make sense to me. Like, I would actually understand if, like, it was 3DS Mario Maker. You can only play levels. Like, that I get. I would understand that more than, like, you can only play levels you make. Like, that was weird. GameStop was overpriced. That's so weird, dude. Played 120 for Mario Tennis. Dude, what the heck? Can Ultra's on a GameStop for $24. It's gonna be so weird when these 3DS Pokemon games start going up in price. Because, like, the DS games have already shot up in price. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, it's not unreasonable to see, like, a complete in-box copy be $120. At least I tell myself that, because that's how much I paid for mine. And then it was missing one of the backs for the Pokewalker. Oh my god, I have a Pokewalker and I haven't used it, guys. I feel bad now. I just remembered I spent like a month walking every morning. And I didn't take the Pokewalker with me. What's wrong with me, guys? Wii games are about $29. That's not terrible. Funny story with Minecraft 3DS version. What's that, man? Got 2DS and bought Minecraft for it. Alright. Pumped up for the new Minecraft update. It looks really cool. It does. Honestly, Minecraft's been on a roll with the updates recently. I wish that, like, I could get back into it in a more, like, continuous capacity than I have before. Like, my friends and I got back into it, and we play it, but then, like, eventually, like, as happens with everything, but, like, eventually, like, you know, one person stops coming online, then another person kind of comes on less, and eventually, like, you're only really on by yourself, unless the other person that's on is just AFK, like at a farm or something. Like, that happens for us usually. And it usually takes about 2 months for it to happen. This time it happened in about, like, a month and a half. That's just how it goes. I wish that there was a longer term thing, because I really like playing on multiplayer stuff, because it forces me not to restart. That's my biggest, that's one thing I'm very guilty of, is I will just restart a world because it's not going perfectly. Like, I won't be creative about it or anything. So, like, I need it to be multiplayer, and therefore I need other people to want to play to make it worthwhile, because hopping on the world every day and not seeing anything new happens kind of boring. Game couldn't be played on 2DS. Oh, wasn't that one of those games that was that a new 3DS only game? Quebec is weird. 3DS games are still expensive, but old retro games like Wii games are at really good prices. Paid $5 for Super Mario. Wii is in a weird state where it's not quite old enough to really be like going up in price. I mean, Xbox 360 and PS4 are the same kind of situation. Or PS3 are the same kind of situation where it's like they're too old for people to really want them. They're not like anything new. They're going to slowly change now that they're like multiple generations old. But like they're not old enough for people to think they're retro. But they're not. I guess, granted, you did just say it was. You just called Wii games retro, man. Man, when I think retro games, I think at least back to like the SNES, maybe N64, because I never played one of those. But like, dude, the Wii came out while I was in school. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying though. Where it's like those systems aren't quite old enough for the games to be like rare and unique and cool, and like the nostalgia for the Wii and the Xbox, like in the Xbox 360, isn't like nostalgia yet in a sense that like, oh, I gotta go out and buy them again. It's nostalgia in the sense of, oh, go and grab it from like the closet. .3DS Smash is kind of underrated. That's the Smash that I have in that generation, because I never had a Wii U. I feel like your knowledge of Minecraft is outdated now because of all the new stuff. Yeah, there's definitely some things that I'm not up to date on, and I admittedly haven't really cared to catch up. I'm very stubborn in my ways. There's so many things I find myself doing that I don't have to do just because I used to do it because it used to be the best way to do things. It's like I'm not going to change. I'm going to be one of those really grumpy old people that's like, oh, back in my day, things were better, just because I can already see it happening. It's already happening. It's happening with Minecraft, something that is like barely 10 years old. Like, I started playing like 9 years ago. Man, I started playing Minecraft 9 years ago. I still play it. Imagine. What other games have had that level of staying power? Still do your old Minecraft tricks? I still find new things every once in a while. I'm like, oh yeah. Just things that weren't things back when I was playing it before. Sad Earthbound was only for the new 3DS. I really wanted to play it. It's weird. There weren't a lot of games that only came out for the new systems, but there were enough that like... It's not like there was one or two. But it's not like you could say that like there was a massive shift where all the games were only coming out for that. So it's like there's enough that like you run into games that are like issues, like Xenoblade Chronicles, but like there weren't enough to really feel like it was a justified distinction. You guys remember when Minecraft was released? I don't remember, like, I only started playing it when 1.2, like release version 1.2 was out. I had seen some videos from like Rooster Teeth about it and like Rooster Teeth comics. That's a throwback. But there's like a Rooster Teeth comic that mentioned Minecraft at one point. Those are the first times I heard about it. I was like, what is this weird thing? And then, you know, a friend had a... Let's go back to the piracy conversation. My friend had a cracked version of it on a flash drive, installed it on my computer, and that's what I played for like a month or two before my friend wanted to like do some multiplayer stuff. And like she set up a server and was like, oh yeah, like, you know, this is like a friend from elementary school that we were like, was catching up. I was like, heck yeah, let's all play. And so I had to like convince my parents to let me buy the official version so I could join a multiplayer server. 2006, it came out in 2009. Roblox is older than Minecraft. Yeah, Roblox is older. Started playing Minecraft 6 years ago. It's crazy. It's crazy how like long it's been a thing and like how many people have different experiences just because of when they started playing it. Like, I remember it being really cool because like, you know, it's one of those things where like all the stuff that was in it when you started playing is just Minecraft. That's what it is. Like, that's the case with, like, anything. It's like, what was there when you, what existed when you first became aware of it is how it's always been, right? Like, that's how it is. Like, anything without that's ridiculous and weird. And then everything after is, at least to an extent, different and new. I still get very excited when I find a jungle, because those were in the game when I started playing. Like, that was the first big update to happen after I started playing, was the addition of the jungle biome and jungle trees and all that stuff. And, like, you know, the jungle structures and, like, the desert temples. Like, all those things came in that 1.13 update, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. So despite there even being newer biomes that have been added, those are the ones that, like, I'm the most excited to find. Is like, oh, it's jungle, because that was the one that was the first thing that I ever found as a new thing. You make money off Roblox? Nice. That's pretty cool. I remember when it came out for the 360 for the first time. I begged your mom for Minecraft Xbox 360. I got it for 360 so I could play with some friends. That's the version I played the most back then, just because my computer could not handle Minecraft at the time. So, yeah, so I played a lot on 360 with friends. You can exchange for Robux for IRL money. That's interesting. How does that work? Don't remember much about your adventures in 2014. That was a good while ago. Sad 4J Studios doesn't work on it anymore. I mean, at this point, Microsoft just owns it. Oh, it's developer exchange. Okay. That's interesting. I guess, like, the concept is that you make content for the game, so the reward is like the idea is, like, people buy the Robux to buy that. Therefore, you should get a cut of it. And hey, you did IRL work. Here's some IRL cash. That's actually pretty interesting. That's an interesting concept. Make 5,000 from shirts a day at least. Dude, that's really cool, man. Roblox has changed a lot since we were a kid. I mean, Minecraft's changed a lot in the same amount of time. You know, when a game has that much staying power, it has that much staying power because it's updated and it's kept with it. You don't need to do this stupid hard college thing to make money. Well, you're talking about $350 a month. That's some good extra money. That's not a lot, and that's not enough to make up for a salary, unfortunately. Oh, that's rough, man. LCD is oxidizing. Rip. I think we're a little behind on the encounters for the day. So probably go a little bit past 8. Isn't Roblox just peeking mics with random minigames? It used to have a kind of Pokemon game in it, but that got shut down. People kept asking me to play it, and I was like, nah, I'm not interested. And then it got shut down, and everyone was upset. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, trademark, copyright. You can't be literally making money off of someone else's IP. That's just not gonna work. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, it's good money. It's just like, you know, when JT's like, I could be doing this. It's like, yeah, you can't do that, but like, it's great money then. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's way more than I made at 13. I made $0 at 13. I didn't have a job until after high school. Pretty decent a month for you. Oh, absolutely. I would have, like, killed to have that much back then. I had, like, allowance and birthday money at that age. That was it. Dude making money at 13 or 17, haven't even got a part-time job yet. Hey, JT, don't feel bad about that. I didn't have a part-time job until I was, like, 18. And even then, it was just only over the summer, and then I went to college. Yeah, Pokemon Brick Bronze, that's what it was. the terms of service is notating people do it anyways. That's to cover their butt. It's like, hey, if something inappropriate happens, they'd be like, well, they can't do that, and then Roblox will just kind of ban them and push them away. It's one of those things where you can't police the entire community that hard, but if something does happen, like, they're able to cover their butts. Like, it's one of those things that you just kind of, as an online, like, site, you have to be like, all right, what are, like, the big problematic things that can and potentially will happen through our services? Well, these things could happen. That would be inappropriate. So, like, you ban them and say they're not allowed. Will you catch everyone immediately? No. If it has, like, a free open chat, like, you can't police it that hard. Like, you can try, but it's not going to be effective. So you just put it in there, and that's all you can do. You can put it in there and say, don't do this. Then people don't listen. They don't read it. They do it. Then they do something that they shouldn't have and get in trouble, and Roblox will say, well, we told you not to do this, and you can ban them, and then Roblox will say, well, hey, look, we took care of it. That's what it's for. Frustrated about your 3DS, can't get a new one because, you know, they don't make them anymore. I mean, there's still stock. Limited, it's running out, but there's still stock. And then there'll still be used ones. It is one of those things where it is a little bit uncomfortable to know that there is that the number of functional 3DSs in the world is now a decreasing number. It's bound to happen. They can't keep making a system that is... They can't keep making stuff on that platform that is so old forever, especially if they're not making new games, because I guess consoles are a little different, or handhelds are a little different, but I mean, like, consoles are sold at a loss to make money off the games, so, like, they can't just keep selling consoles at, like, a loss while not selling any new games. Like, they can't do that. That just doesn't make sense. Like, it's objectively and, like, logically it has to happen, but it does stink. I agree. Help your mom pay the bills. Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's really nice of you. 3 a.m. at McDonald's. Best Roblox game you played. Brick Bronze was a joy to be able to play Lumion Legacy. What's that? Would I play Roblox or a scary multiplayer game? I mean, probably not either. I've seen some of the dumb stuff in Roblox that could be, like, fun to meme around with if I had to choose. But I have zero interest in playing anything even remotely scary. Dude, I was listening to music while playing Halo, and the music made a sound that wasn't a Halo sound, and I got so concerned. Like, there was a moment of like, what just happened? What was that? And then the next, like, part of the song happened. I was like, oh, wait, never mind. You don't know what to do? Like, about your 3DS? This makes me wonder what you've been doing in quarantine since March. Nothing. Now you're paying for it in college. Hey, man. Sometimes it's good to just, like, you know, people have to handle it differently. Sometimes it's good to just not do anything. Is it always good? No, but sometimes what you can. Like, for me, I definitely kind of think, what have I done since quarantine started? And, like, it's work and not much else. I bought a car. That's not, like, an accomplishment. I mean, like, yeah, sure, it's like a step towards, you know, being more of an adult and whatnot, but, like, it's not like I went out and did something super big and a big achievement outside of video games. It's maybe the people who made Brick Bronze. I see. Been making multiple honey accounts and inviting your other friends, which is you, and buying things with the honey on those accounts to get like $5. That is a risky thing to admit online. That is probably very against their terms of service. Not that they probably care. That's probably helping their numbers too. He made Lumion Legacy because Brick Bronze was getting banned. Yeah, so it's probably like the same mechanics, just not with Pokemon, and it doesn't work as well. It's Galaxy New 3DS Rare Special Edition one. The Galaxy ones weren't as rare as a lot of people probably think. Especially later on in their life. Because when my 3DS started dying, like my original new 3DS, like the first 3DS I had, I wanted to get an identical one. I wanted to get another black new 3DS XL. I wanted to get that. At that point, which was 2018, summer 2018, I think, you couldn't. The only ones in stores were new 2DS XLs or the Galaxy 3DS XLs. All they had was the Galaxy models. There were so many of them. Like, I think there was supposed to kind of be this limited thing, and then not a lot of people bought them. Or it was just like, they tooled their machining up to make the Galaxy ones, and then stopped making the rest, and this one, well, we can run these machines for a while. We have the raw material. Like, that's basically what it was. If you want the same one, you ain't gonna buy it from eBay scalpers. Fair. I mean, dude, just go to, like, a Target and see if they have it. They might. They honestly might still have, like, one or two in stock. Like, it might, like, they might not. Like, it might have been a thing people went out and panic bought them just because, oh no, they're going away. But, like, there's a good chance there's just one or two just out there that just haven't been bought. I mean, with quarantine, people buying consoles, there was, you know, a lot are going to go away just because people are trying to buy the Switch, and the Switch isn't there. Well, hey, I'll get a 3DS anyway, and I can still play Mario and Pokemon. What's the difference? The greatest thing that happened to you is making custom shirts for a famous Roblox developer. Dude, nice. I do not know who that is. Really don't want to spend $100. Fair. That's 100% fair, though. I agree with that. After your 2K Roblox. Nice. Play Persona 5. Fun game. I'd have to find a system to get it on. I have Persona 4 on PC. I need to play that first, since I own that one. That is actually pretty cool that that's like a business model within Roblox. Didn't know about that. I think it's cool that like the developers can actually get some money out of that. Black Slash? Which Black Slash? It's like $200 US. Nice, dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's rough. And unfortunately, the way that works and the way LCDs work is it's only going to get worse. Well, it won't even, like, stay the same. It's just going to get worse. Unfortunately, because it's basically somehow the screen got exposed to some air and it oxidized. And the only thing that can happen is either you got lucky and somehow, like, that air got in there somewhere. So unless somehow it sealed itself up again, it's just going to keep leaking it a little more and keep blobbing out farther and farther. Interesting, because it was closed. I mean, like, if the fact that it was closed mattered, like, this screen would be dead just because it's open. But, like, nah, it's like the physical layer of the screen that is the liquid crystal display. Alright, see you later, J-Teen. Hope the lab is good. Hope to see you again soon, man. Hope you do well. Talking about dead pixels. It's different from dead pixels. Like, I have a dead pixel on my phone. That's an individual pixel that just electrically isn't working anymore. This is like, sometimes, especially with older phone screens, if you cracked them, you would end up with, like, you know, a circle of the screen that wouldn't turn on. Like a giant chunk of the screen that wouldn't turn on. It's basically like dead pixels, but en masse. Like, unfortunately, like, dead pixels and stuck pixels happen on a lot of things. My phone has a dead pixel. Each of my monitors has, like, one dead or one stuck pixel on it. Those are honestly kind of more frustrating, because, like, then, like, even if you have something dark over it, it's noticeable. Screen isn't cracked. It looks like the LCD was cracked. Yeah, so something happened and somehow air got in there, but it was probably through like the casing of the system and through the screen. Something within the screen is messed up. It's not the like casing of the system. But either way, there's a way for air to get in. I mean, like the actual physical device isn't airtight, but the package that is the screen is supposed to be, at least. So that's where, like, usually, like, if you crack the glass on your screen, it usually doesn't, you know, have issues where, like, it starts becoming, you know, black and, like, having those blobs. But if the crack's bad enough, it'll crack the screen itself. It'll crack the actual panel. It'll crack part of the panel. If it cracks that, but it doesn't actually crack through the electronics, it'll just cause the black blob. That's just how it be. I don't think OLEDs have that problem, though. But obviously, like, the 3DS isn't OLED. OLEDs have their own set of issues. The bottle cap had a sharp part. Rip, Pokey. Sorry to hear that, man. Hope it's not too bad. This is part of the middle, yeah. Yeah, I mean, something happened to the, like, physical screen. Like the actual panel. Oh, what game's that, horse? I mean, yeah, something happened to it and it got, like, hit real hard or flexed real hard. Or there's just some defect that showed up now, like, stuff happens. Maybe it's effective. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could have just been as simple as that. Dang, we missed the mark by 10 encounters here. So we're going to probably go for about like 10 more minutes-ish. That's what it's going to end up being to get to 900. That was the intended stopping point tonight. It's called Piggy. Basically this Granny, but with Peppa Pig characters. I don't know what Granny is. That's awesome, PokeTuber. Nice, dude. Props on being able to make that. Like I said, I wish I could have been able to do that as a 13-year-old man. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Vanillix, is just like, it can just happen. You know, like slight differences in how they were made. It happens. It's one of those things where, like, it worked for its intended lifespan. That's all they can really promise. Or all they'll really promise. From there, you know, there can be slight little problems. Always ask you why you don't spend it on dumb stuff. Yeah, I mean, being responsible is good. It is also good to be a kid and buy some dumb things every once in a while. I can attest to the don't grow up too fast thing. Be a kid as long as you can, basically. Gotta get a new Switch, but you wanted to buy a used one to save money. Hey, that's responsible though, right? Like, yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. That's like that makes sense. That one, in my mind, makes sense. Like, you got the thing you wanted, but you also were able to save some money with it. Like, that's pretty good. Is buying your college degree dumb? Some would argue yes. Some would argue almost all college degrees are dumb. Some would argue it's never dumb, especially your college. Don't know what a granny is. Basically just escaping a building while having a monster chasing you. It's very fun. It's a story and you're hooked. Oh, okay, cool. College of Solar Skin. See, PokeTuber here. Yeah, just depends on what you're gonna do. Granny doesn't have a story, but Piggy does. Okay. Alright, guys, we're going to 900 encounters here. We're almost there for the night. This hunt's been brutal. I hope I can get this thing under odds. I hope I can get it under the shiny charm odds. I hope I don't go as long as some of these other people have been going for it. This is pretty brutal. Minute-long encounters, man. Crazy. But, like, legit. It's kind of ridiculous. Wrapping up at 900. Yup! Yep, that is the goal. I do 150 per stream, because that... If I'm quick enough with them, I can get that done in exactly 2 hours, which is how long I usually stream. If we're close, like we were tonight, like, you know, we're going to go about 10 minutes over my intended time. You know, I'll do that. Need to replace your small rat? Oh no! Oh yeah, I thought, for some reason I thought that was like in real life for a minute, but... Yeah, I guess probably a good idea to go into a battle full team than otherwise. Still works, yeah, I mean, as long as it still works and plays the games, that's makes it fine, right? Yo, the Primal Rayquaza, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I don't know, I said Rayquaza really weird there, but welcome, man. How you doing? 9% of the top hat. Juan, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. Everyone show Juan some love in the chat over that super chat hype. Thank you, Juan. I really appreciate that, dude. And yo, the Primal Rayquaza, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Sub hype as well in the chat. You only like to spend $100 a month on yourself. Hey, some budgeting right there, man. Nice. Don't care how you say Rayquaza, just say how you like it. Dude, Rayquaza is my favorite legendary. Yeah, I don't know. I always say it Rayquaza. I just like flubbed it that one time. I don't know. It's like my tongue got all twisted up. Just want to screw it and buy a used Switch. Yeah, fair, man. Yours too? Nice. Makes sense with the username. Zeraora is your favorite legendary? Alright. Cool, cool. 13 super responsible with his money. Dude, I was not responsible with my money. I'd barely consider myself responsible now. And even that's a bit of a stretch. You can actually feint the Regis and they'll respawn. Yeah, but it's quicker to do this. As long as it is, it's quicker to do this. Even compared to runaways, it's quicker to just reset. Unfortunately, I wish there was a faster way. It would be so nice if there was a faster way to do this. This is just insane. Yo, Mayu, what's going on? Yeah, fainting doesn't increase odds. Yeah. Yeah, I wish there was a better way to do it. Oh, you know how to code? That's awesome, dude. What kind of code do you do? Alright, guys, we're doing 2 more encounters. 2 more encounters for the night here. And we'll be wrapping up. We'll do encounter 899, and then we'll do 900. Robux. It's a special kind of Robux. A cow just tackled a dragon? I don't know if that's realistic or not. Alright guys, final encounter. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, you could promote it and stuff. That's an investment. If you can expect to get more than that back. Like, you can make that investment. Alright, guys. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Will we get it today? Or will we have to continue with this hunt later this week? So as I said, guys, I think Wednesday, I'm thinking the stream will actually be a different thing entirely. Just for the fun of it, mix things up a little bit, have a little bit of fun. But we will get back to this hunt this week, because it was not shiny today. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. I really enjoy talking with y'all. Thank you everyone that liked, anyone that subscribed. Big thank you to Juan for the super chat tonight. I always appreciate that, man. You're always too kind. And Among Us can be fun. I think Vanillix, I don't think you were on when I mentioned it, but I think the plan is going to be, I'm just going to play some like Halo multiplayer on Wednesday. Halo 4 is dropping tomorrow, and I just got back into SWAT with it, so I think we're going to probably play some SWAT and like Halo 4, Halo Reach, and Halo 3. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your night, a good day tomorrow. Until next time, guys, take care.